Hey folks, Karen here with I Figured It Out. Us crafters, we don't throw much away. This is packing paper that a lot of the Amazon and other places pack their items in. Now, I like using this to make signs, labels, stuff like that. But every time I put it through my Cricut, and I have a Maker 3, and use the fine point blade, it just tears the paper. It won't cut it. It just tears through it. So I've tossed a lot of this stuff away. Well, I figured out how to make it work. Still using the Cricut, and I'm going to show you how I did it. So first, this is what I do. First, I press it. Get all the wrinkles out. This is a heat-resistant mat that I have it on, that I actually is for my heat press. But I use it for this, and I just use my iron. This way I don't have to heat up my heat press. But this way it sits nice on the Cricut mat. So we'll do that. We'll press it. Now it's all nice and flat. And then we're going to go over to the computer and show you how I set it up. Okay, I have my Cricut open. Now I'm going to go on a blank canvas. Now let's say I want to cut out of that piece of wrap paper. We'll just do a rectangle. We're just going to cut that. We'll make it let's make it a 3 by 5. Yeah, let's make it a 5 by 3. Now, since the blade, when it's set to cut, just rips through the paper, what I'm going to do is set it to perforate. Because the cool thing is, when you set it to perforate and you process it through a few times, usually about 3, then you can just punch the piece out of the paper, and this way you don't have any splits or tears or anything. So let's go ahead and make it. Now you can only do this on a Maker 3, Maker 4. It's got to be a Maker machine because that's the only one that's got the perforation tools. So we're going to set this at, we're going to set it at 24-pound copy paper. Set the default at more. There's my perforation blade. Okay, the Cricut is set up, so we'll go back to my other camera and finish this up. All right, now we're back over at the Cricut. So this is my Maker 3. And the tool I need to use is the perforation blade. I don't know if you can see that here. It's a number 11. And I have my scoring. Now I have my, yeah. I have my scoring blade on a quick swap. So we'll just take this out and put this one in. Or not. Oh, hold on. I forgot to depress the button here. So I got to put that on. Then release the button and it'll stay in there. Duh! All right, so now we'll take my fine point blade out and put the perforation blade in. Put that back on. All right, now we got to get the Cricut mat. You could probably use either the standard grip or the light grip. I use the standard grip for just about everything. And you do want to burnish it down. You may not be able to see this. I'm probably off camera. But if you looked at my other video, you know what it means by having it burnished down. So now it's burnished down. And the light is ready. So we'll load it up. It's done measuring. And the more I thought about it, I thought, well, you know, if you perforate things, you just, it's set up for it to like punch things out. So, oh, why not use this instead of a blade? I don't know if it would work with a scoring tool or not. I'll have to try that. But that's one. And I usually put this through like maybe 3 times. So one thing I am not good at is measuring and cutting by myself. But if I go through my design space, I know I get a perfect cut. It's always the right size and it's a perfect cut. So I'm kind of spoiled with my Cricut. Let's go one more time. Because like even when I set it on wrapping paper, it just tore through, the fine point blade just tears through everything. So now let's check it before we actually take the paper off. Okay, we'll put it through another time. What I like about it, it gives a kind of a rough edge. So if you're doing something that's like a vintage project, it's nice having the little perforated edges instead of the sharp cut edges. But I use this to wrap up my uncle's gift recently. Let's see. Well, it's doing pretty good, so let's unwrap that. And we'll move you over here. And let's see if it punched out. Turn it over this way so maybe you can see it better. I like leaving it on the mat to do this because it just makes it easier to get out of here. And I would imagine you could use the same thing on tissue paper, wrapping paper, anything that's a really lightweight, because this is pretty flimsy paper. Now, let me bring you back. How do I do that? Don't know. But anyway, this is what you got. No rips, no tears. Just put it through a couple of times and it punches right out. Let's try it with wrapping paper and tissue paper. Okay, so first we'll try it with tissue paper. Let's cut out a piece. Yeah, like I said, I'm really bad with scissors and cutting things out. I like using my Cricut because it avoids all that nonsense of getting bad cuts. Okay, so we'll put this on here. Got to get all the wrinkles out of it. I won't subject this to my iron. It's a little lightweight. And since the Cricut's already set up, I just have to go back to the computer and tell it to go again. Let's go back over here. And we still have it set to perforate. And sometimes when I set this up and I use my blade and a ruler, the paper would still tear. I might not have to go over it that many times with tissue paper as I did with the packing paper. So we'll see how it does with tissue paper. Now let's see if I may only have to do it once on tissue paper. We'll let it go through one more time. The only thing I don't like about using the perforation tool is it tends to cut into the mat. Now I'll show you what I mean when this one's done. Okay. Now let's bring you back over here so you can see. That's coming out nice. Yes. Let's take this off of here. And flip this over so I can get this off. Because it's so lightweight. I don't want to rip it getting it off of here. This is where I should probably have used the light grip mat, the blue one. And there we go. Perfectly cut piece of tissue paper. But here's what I mean by it tends to cut through the mat on the corners. Like right here. That cut through the mat. Up here cut through the mat. But didn't seem to hurt the mat that much. Okay, that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. and subscribe and watch for my next video.